All right, we back. And we just saw X. That's just what it's called?
I guess so, yeah. X.
Dang, Hakeem, where you at, bro?
Shout
Yeah, damn. I mean, I guess I'll have to look up.
I know, that's
IMDb.
crazy.
Yeah, what was it mean?
I have no idea. What year is it right
He
now?
started the trend. That's crazy.
2022. That's a new movie. That's like a brand new fucking thing. In 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in rural Texas. But when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast find themselves ... I didn't click in. But
Well,
we know
you
what
get it
happened.
from there,
Yeah. Shit goes bad for the kids and the adults. It's bad for everyone,
Yeah.
really.
It was bad for
Yeah.
everyone.
No one comes out of that all right.
Yeah, spoiler warning. We about to spoil the hell out of this
Yeah.
movie, just FYI.
Yeah.
Stop now. My YouTube viewers don't need to hear that probably, but
I feel like
hey,
it's
you probably had a chance to see this
probably
one.
like the last people to see that movie. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah,
like it's come
legit.
out,
So
like,
let's go crazy.
it's almost the end of 2023, so that's like, apparently there's been a prequel too, so there's been a whole nother fucking movie. In the,
Well, I'll probably miss that one, but this was a nice little experience. It wasn't even nice, but I see why people liked it.
Yeah.
It subverted my expectations.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad I went in pretty much blind. Like I knew that it was supposed to be like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre type
But it really
thing.
wasn't that.
No,
But
it
it like,
Crazy old
oh
people.
man, yeah.
This fucking old sexual offenders who are just like murdering people and whatever. This crazy old insane
Yeah,
woman.
they were just like humanized so much, and usually I feel like they don't do that with the killers or the bad guys
So,
or whatever we're calling it.
the
Like
whole movie,
they
so
took a lot of time to do that. And like
yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Like they exist to kind of like personify what like the main girl's like fears were, because she's like, oh, I want to be someone. This old woman like oh, I was a dancer back before electricity and whatever, and it's like
I think I missed that part about her wanting to be a dancer.
Yeah, she was like, oh, and after she decapitated
yeah,
the fucking
she hit the
Shaggy
dance. She
dude
hit the
Like,
fucking.
she was like doing a whole thing. and
I
whatever.
was
Oh,
dying.
yeah, okay. I thought she said
Under the
something
red
before,
light,
yeah.
they
Oh yes. Yeah.
that was pretty cinematic in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, it's funny how
Even down to the porn parts.
early on they were like, oh, you can do a smut film that's cinematic. I was like, okay, so that's exactly. And I mean, because they were so on the note, like with the it'll do the European thing, and they had all the weird transitions, like the art shit, like the flashing.
Yeah,
'cause
I love that though. That was
Yeah.
hitting for me.
Like they called out like so much about it and shit and whatever, just with like, things that would just like they'd say something, and then like an hour later something would happen that'd be like, oh, okay, that's that. Yeah. Let's see. Man, what was the overall take without giving a specific number? What was the temperature you guys are feeling on it?
I don't know. It was pretty good. So maybe like I'd give it an 8.
Oh well, I mean, I wasn't saying to rate it necessarily.
I thought you were saying a
I
rating.
mean, just what the overall temperature was. I mean, I definitely agree. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was.
The gauntlet has been thrown. Okay, damn, I gotta think
I
fast.
I can I definitely would rate it 8.5, something like that.
I was gonna give it the 8.5
Yeah.
too. It's like I want to give it the 9. That was fun.
It was.
And it was
It
creepy,
was-
but it wasn't scary.
It had a
was
lot
like
of different
a thriller.
stuff in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta leave it maybe at the 0.5. I think I can't go crazy than that.
I definitely enjoyed it. I feel like I was constantly whatever. I don't know what I expected to happen. I expected everyone to die. I wasn't sure if Jenna.
I knew she would live. I knew that girl would live
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah.
Because they kind of were
She was the
focusing
main
on
one.
her.
Yeah, she was the main
Yeah,
one. Yep.
yeah. And but then oh, maybe Jenna Ortega was gonna
I
live.
thought she would live too. Yeah.
But
That would just
Yeah.
fodder. And it's like I don't know. They just built up so many of those situations so much,
Yeah.
just for it to be like,
The alligators
like, okay, well, what the fuck?
I totally thought
Yeah,
the
there was a
Marine
lot
was gonna
of-
get attacked by an alligator, and he was gonna
Same,
die by some
yep, I
Vietnam.
thought-
I guess
and
he
it
did
wasn't-
die by a Vietnam
lot
thing. He got
of-
Yeah.
shot.
Sure.
Takeouts.
He literally died in a fucking Vietnam situation, I guess, going through the fucking muck and then getting shot in the chest and whatever in the dark woods.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
At least he got it quick though. I feel like he got off relatively easy.
Yeah, and then we had
Yeah.
the alligator for the girl.
Yeah,
that was
a
crazy.
pretty. Who got the most brutal death?
It was probably the
like-
alligator.
Yeah,
that was
definitely
It was,
alligator.
it was like tossing her around and shit. That was like.
She wasn't a bad spirit. I didn't want to see her go out like that.
She,
I know.
She was a good. I feel like they humanized all the characters.
Very
the scene
well,
with
very
the
well.
first scene with the alligator, that was tense. That when she was floating in the water.
That
Yeah,
was
the
such a
takeout.
beautiful shot
Yeah,
too.
it
Like,
was,
oh man, that was a highlight for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, that whole sequence was awesome. I mean, beautiful shot. The whole
Yes,
thing
that was
happened.
like Hitchcock level. I'm talking like with
Yeah.
the suspense of that thing coming, and even when she makes it, she doesn't realize it yet. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
She
That
never
was-
did realize
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Like, she
she
just had
did.
no
She just kind of
idea.
like just got off scot-free there.
Man.
Yeah, the ending with the fucking old lady flying back, the old heart attack, and then the old lady fucking just physics, just kicking her ass and whatever.
I was here for that though.
Yeah.
It was,
It was
funny.
cool. It was unexpected.
It was, yeah.
I did expect the gun to be empty because the guy said, "Oh, just like I keep
And
empty."
that,
And
yep,
just
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be empty, but I remembered him saying
Yeah.
that. But I was like, okay, she's gonna get the shot off and just end it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
some good shit.
yeah, I really
That was
enjoyed that.
good.
Yeah. Let's see, the fucking the director guy. Yeah, he got fucking his head stabbed off.
And
I
I
haven't
feel
seen-
bad about him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I wonder if I guess in the beginning he was like, I guess I don't remember them showing him to be like an asshole to his girlfriend there. He was like kind of didn't tell her it was like a porn, but
yeah,
I guess
that was
like
kind of assholey.
yeah, I guess that yeah. So but yeah, he like got it rough
I
in a couple
felt bad
ways.
for him.
They
I
definitely
did
like,
feel bad.
you know,
It's like they set that up, and he was the first to die. I
Yeah.
thought maybe even he would become the killer or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
And he was just
'cause he was
done.
pissed
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
shit.
because like,
Yeah.
I would be pissed too. Fucking, I
Yeah,
got
I
it.
mean, oh my
I could
God.
feel his pain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Got,
then he was
like-
just dead.
He got
It's like,
gang
what the fuck?
pressured to like film his girlfriend like getting fucked on camera.
Like, come on. Like
that's
when he
fucked
was
up.
breaking down, I was like,
yeah, that was some.
I
that was
felt
some shit,
that.
man.
Yeah.
It's like it definitely.
in
I-
the shower, like I was like,
Yeah.
dang.
I feel like they did a good job with like all the emotions, all the different characters had a place they were coming from. You know, everyone had at least one or two key moments where they got to kind of show themselves from like a sympathetic place and whatever. Even
Yeah,
like the
legit.
fucking cowboy dude who was walking around in like the jockstrap or whatever. That was so fun. Like no one puts on pants in the movie. It's like at the
I
end, it's
know.
like everyone's like walking around.
Pantsless.
Even the Marine.
Yeah, the
which-
blonde chick,
Yeah.
Kid Cudi.
I would definitely. That was Kid. I was thinking the entire time, like, is that Kid Cudi? Like, like legitimately.
Who's the actor who was like the main guy, the dude who stepped on the nail?
I have no idea who that
I
is.
don't know.
Some
He
Matthew
looked
McConaughey
familiar,
looking
though.
guy.
Yeah,
His
like I've
face
seen him
familiar.
before.
I have no. I mean, I guess it's.
He's like
you
some,
can
like,
look it up. The
character
internet's right
actor
there.
guy.
But that's so funny though, because I was thinking like, is that because I know Kid Cudi does acting now? You know, he's like
Huh.
he was in Bill and Ted and shit. He was in like Oh, I probably get like shit reception here
But yeah,
in
you
the
know,
basement of the.
I like my
mall.
actors in there. They were all hitting.
Yeah, it is Kid Cudi.
Yeah,
Martin Henderson. I don't recognize that name.
I feel like I seen him in like not B.
Oh,
but-
he was in Smoking Aces. That was a cool. Okay,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
I
in,
seen that.
He was in The Ring. Oh, he was the dude
Okay.
who got killed in the end of The Ring. Spoilers. You know, like when the ghost comes out of the TV and he's like the boyfriend or whatever that watched the tape and shit.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's kinda, I wouldn't have
Hey.
reckoned. I wouldn't
That
have.
guy, I
made that
didn't like
connection.
that
This
guy. Though. He
story.
was, like, kinda like,
Yeah.
Apparently, he's on Grey's Anatomy for a couple seasons. So there
No.
you
Come
go.
Okay,
on,
so
he's a
that makes
B.
sense.
He's at least a B.
Yeah.
But we're not saying that's bad. We're saying we
yeah.
love all
yeah,
actors.
he was like
He's a-
part of the role.
So get off
He
strike.
did,
I'm
yeah.
just kidding. At times
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were dating it.
It's gonna. Yeah. Well, hey, you know, we're already. This is a movie that's 2 years old.
I know, huh?
almost.
We're just breaking all the rules here
It's a very special hindsight.
on a special episode.
Yeah, that was good. I thought that the blonde Brittany. I remember her from like the mid thousands. Brittany Snow. She was in like a million movies, and then I feel like she kind of disappeared. I don't know if she was on like
She's back.
I don't think she was in like the OC or something, but she was like one of those kind of actresses and shit. And whatever. I can't even think of like a movie that she was like. I think John Tucker Must Die or whatever, and shit.
Well, that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
But I actually liked it. It was like that was an indie film kind of. But anyway.
This one?
No, John Tucker Must Die.
Yeah,
But,
it's been. I mean, that's
Yeah.
like barely even remember, but
yeah, but this movie was cool. I didn't. Okay, I'll say like. I expected it to be like a horror slasher film, but there was just like a lot of sex in the movie, and it was like there
Yeah.
was some like connection between like sex and fear or something, or like that lady. I don't even understand what her background was or what her past was, but it was
Yeah.
like there was some sex and murder thing going on for her, and it was
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they didn't really explain that, but it was really prevalent in the film, and I
Yeah.
was just
So
like,
Well,
it's
I
like-
feel
what the
like
fuck?
they kind of said that she wanted the husband to have sex with her, but like he was too old, and then she kept seeing all the people come in, and that even the guy was like, oh, you're flaunting it, like she's like making her horny and shit.
Right, yeah, because
So,
she's
like,
all
that
pissed
was-
that she like wasted her life in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, she
whatever.
didn't fucking get
Games.
fucked. Yeah,
and
enough.
like, yeah, that's I mean, I guess just
So
the
her
whole
trying to work that out.
feeling of her
So-
like
so
missing
she-
out and drove her
So
insane.
she kills everybody.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
because she's like jealous or something.
Well, and then I guess on the TV there's like the priest.
The,
who's,
yeah,
like,
but I didn't even get that. Were they saying, now I could be wrong, and I'm just throwing this out here, but that freckled girl looked like that girl.
That's
I
what
think
they
that
were saying. That was
like,
her name,
So she was the
Maxine,
preacher's
yeah.
daughter or
who
whatever.
like ran away or something.
Yeah,
Or...
so she ran away and worked at the fucking strip club or whatever, and then was into porn. And she was the preacher's daughter that was like throughout the whole movie or whatever. So she's like
Now, what
kind
was
of
the
the-
connection to that old lady then?
with her.
I don't
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at first, I mean, just the fact that like the
Or
preacher's
that
like,
was
oh,
she
they
knew
were
she
just
was
religious.
special or something. Like,
oh,
when she was
she has
there's
the X
something
factor.
about
Yeah,
her.
she's like, you know,
Oh.
She's special.
she's got the
Miss
kind of
Special.
whatever it is, the
Maybe
star
she knew.
quality and whatever. And the old
Oh,
lady
maybe
was
she
like,
did.
I want, you know, like, you know, like the cowboy dude was like, oh, you know, you got the it factor, and she's like, the old lady's like, I used to have the it factor, I lost it, and you know, you have what you represent.
I thought that was her daughter.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
And that's why they was watching that video, because they were like, you know what I mean? That was the sermon of her missing daughter or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess it's like.
But
you
it
know,
definitely was the same. It was the same girl though.
For sure.
So that wouldn't
Yeah.
have been her parents because she wouldn't have went home.
I feel like
But
the old
that-
lady.
no, but that's what they were saying. I thought at the end when he was like, you know, and then she finds her way home and blah 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 blah. And it was like, oh, she did
It's
kind
like-
of find her way
yeah,
home.
They represent each other. It's
Yeah.
like the
That
young
was
one is
trippy.
where the old lady started. She wanted to be a star, and she's like, you know, fucking like clearly unstable and whatever. And then like this other lady has like delusions about being a star by being in like, you know, a stripper and then in like being in a porno in the middle of fucking nowhere and whatever. And she it's like setting up like, okay, this is what you could become, just like what, you know, having like these crazy dreams and shit, and like, you know, like they're killing people because you're so I mean, it's obviously like, I feel like it's crazy, you know, the extreme to take it to, but I feel like that seemed like what they were trying to do with like, you know, showing her being like fixated on her. It's like, okay, you were me or whatever, or I was you. I mean, like
She
the
did
old
that
lady.
flash when she was looking in the window. That was nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was that's so funny. That was I'm glad that they had. I like when they had Kid Cudi sort of like wake up and be prepared, because they set up him being a Marine, so him actually like waking up at like the sound, like, and like shit like that and whatever, and like.
And helping up my guy, and then ended up getting shot. But
Yeah,
Man,
you
I
betrayed him.
totally
Hard,
thought I was
Yeah.
expecting the Croc to like come up from behind him.
I thought it would be
I thought he
Croc
was gonna
too.
get like dragged
But-
in or something.
Yeah.
we didn't know how evil the guy was, because they were
Yeah.
kind of setting him up like he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, he didn't know his wife was out here going crazy.
Or
Yeah.
he didn't know, but he was trying to hide it. or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like-
Yeah.
And
There's the
then it turns
plausible-
out he is actually a sketch.
Yeah.
They gave him the plausible deniability until like,
Yeah.
the last second
Yeah.
when like he shot him in the fucking chest.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't even know he was gonna turn like that.
That
Yeah,
the fucking
that's
the dude in the thong there, like in the barring in the fucking, that was just so funny. It's just like you fucking like the dumbass like. Well, it's like it's really funny seeing like the male character get like objectified and put himself in the increasingly stupidly dangerous situation. You know, like, oh, you know, I just stabbed my foot. Let me fucking poke my hole through put my eye to the hole in the wall. Whatever. Like, oh no, whatever. Oh, better go take a shower now or whatever, and just like, you know, being like this
That
exposed.
nail was a great shot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like that kind of stuff, like it was, the suspense was there.
Yeah.
Definitely, they hit a lot of those notes right.
Yeah.
Or when
Those
she
were
was
really good
walking
shots.
through the house
Yeah.
and hello, it's like, what are you even doing
She's
in
like,
there?
who cares?
Like,
Yeah.
why are you so deep into this obviously spooky
Yeah.
old woman's house? You saw this creepy lady say, "Come inside."
Yeah,
here. Like,
yeah.
come
I
on.
know.
That's exactly why I wouldn't go
Yeah.
in.
It's fucking Jenna Ortega's fingers getting chopped. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
unexpected. Her whole
man.
character was just wild.
yeah. It's like, what the like, what even was her?
Yeah,
I guess like how it all fit. I'm sure that there's some like, you know, themes and stuff. But right now it's sort of like a lot
Yeah.
to process. I'm like,
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I was just like, because like, is she gonna be the final? Because there's a lot of slashers where it's like, okay, you think that the main girl is gonna be like the protagonist, and then it turns out to be someone else or whatever.
and yeah, and she's
shit,
like,
so
nope, but she was just
it
a
was a
side
fake out.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you know, well, I guess it's not, you know, in like Friday the 13th or whatever, it's always like, oh, you know, if you do drugs or have sex, then you're gonna die. But then the main girl was doing fucking coke and shit, and she was like started out being like in the fucking burlesque place or whatever. So like, you know, it's sort of subverting, like having like the super uptight kind of like girl, then like go through the kind of the arc of just like, okay, then you have sex and sin, then you die or whatever. But then like the more kind of like on the surface, like the one doing coke and like already like involved with it gets the, I don't know, it's just they had all the slasher tropes, but then they just sort of whichever ones they chose to like
yeah, for sure.
Take you out.
Yeah,
And be like, which one
I
is
guess
it
because
gonna
it's like so familiar, you can just sort of set up any number of things, and then no matter what you want, you know, you don't, people won't know what to expect because there's so many different ways you could just kind of tweak the familiar things and whatever.
I originally thought the lady was going to like skin the girl, like, cause with her like obsession with her skin and shit, I was like, is this gonna be like a skinning movie or something?
Yeah.
The Texas
Some fucked up
Chainsaw
shit.
Massacre.
Yeah, like
It's funny that the
With, like,
only graphic sex scene. I guess, well, actually, no, never mind. The
There was
first time they
plenty of
showed
them, yeah.
Well, but it's like a lot of them were sort of, you know, they'd be kind of like not focusing on the sex. I was saying like the old people scene was the only. I mean, they would have like, they showed probably the most actual sex on screen, because with like, you know, all the like the in-movie porno sex scenes, it was all like kind of shaking around and like zooming in and
It
showing
was
them
cinematic.
yeah,
and then like the most like kind of
When you
raw
wanted.
and romantic quote unquote sex scene was between the disgusting old murderers and whatever. So it's like,
Well, that was real love, though.
Yeah.
After all those years.
but it's just subverting the whole thing. The whole movie was like the fucking sex movie, and then like the one, like the time they actually are like really showing like the fucking like old man's ass cheeks just fucking like Jesus Christ.
While she was
Ridiculous.
under the bed.
Yeah.
That
I
was
didn't get
crazy.
how she got under
Yeah,
there, though,
because she
right?
was hiding there,
Slipping
yeah.
away as
But
they were coming deeper.
That's crazy. That was like, okay, you should have got up out of there. Like,
Yeah,
as soon as you looked out the window and saw that she went to go hide underneath the bed, like, come on.
yeah, this is the dumbest place, but
Yeah.
But I guess that was wholly unexpected. So,
Yeah.
to her credit, who the
Took some
fuck would have
twists and
thought
turns.
that the evil, like, people who are killing everybody just start smashing in my bed? Like,
Yeah, like that old lady definitely was constantly throwing, you know, the audience for a loop. I feel like just whatever the fuck she was
Yeah,
doing.
because, like, she wasn't even scary, but
Yeah, they had some
But
shots where
she
she's like
was.
lurking and
Yeah.
shit. And
yeah,
like,
she was
but
a
then
lurker.
I like the fact that they show that she really is just some frail old lady.
I feel like
She's
she
But she
got.
wasn't that frail. She like carried all those guys.
That,
and stuff.
yeah, she was doing stuff, but then a shot of the shotgun blew her backwards through the door and broke her hip or
Yeah,
whatever.
true.
So it's like, you know, as long as she was in control, then she was good. But then as soon as like, you know, I thought the young lady was gonna like literally fight her or push her down or something.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be like, I don't know. I thought she was more like ghoulish, but she really wasn't. She was just a crazy old lady. It's like what it really was, but
Yeah.
it seemed like she was taking on more like ghoulish characteristics, and she was dancing in the red.
Yeah, covered in blood.
And yeah, she just kept stabbing it, and everything was red. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
honestly, that was really nice. It's like I didn't want to look, but
Yeah.
it was so beautiful.
Yeah, there's some really cool artistic shit in there, which is like, you know, and it's funny like them calling attention to it so early on. Talking like, oh, you can be cinematic with the fucking
Yeah.
smut. And then like having like that, like for example, that one shot of her walking into the house with the overalls, and you just get the huge focus on the side boob, but then it's a great shot of it panning over to show the rest of the room. And it's like, oh, smut, but then it's being cinematic. And that was like right after they were having that conversation. It's like, oh, there you go. Like, so that's kind of the movie. They're gonna set up the sort of theme and then say like, and then do whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
like with the guy going like, oh, don't be prude to his girlfriend, and then she like fucking like, you know, like forces him to watch her like fuck another guy on, you know, whatever. He's like, oh, and says the same thing. You know, like they set up the thing and then have it pay off.
Yeah, that was a heavy payoff.
That's
man.
definitely gonna be a lot of.
fun.
I'm sure looking up online, there's gonna be a million things. I'll be like, oh shit, no way. Like, oh, that got set up. And it's a lot to process. There's a lot, you know, for a simple movie. There's a lot going on. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
or
I
it was
think
just a
so,
lot of
too.
fucking and like shit. But it seemed like there was themes. And
Sex
whatever.
and murder.
Sex and murder.
The intersection of sex and
We go
murder.
together.
Yeah, it was good. I thought I remember specifically thinking, it's like, huh, there's like you know, not really for a movie about sex. There's like not like male nudity. Then they had the dead dude hung up on like the fucking like.
Oh
X,
man, I had
had
already blocked that out of my mind.
And then they had Kid Cudi like right after it too. So it's like, okay, there's
Back
two
to
dicks
back.
right.
There was
back
like
to back.
no rules in the film.
It was
literally
fucking
anything
insane.
you can imagine.
Did
was
we see
happening.
the guy who was tied up before, or was he the guy in the milk carton, or did we see that dude?
Who's the what?
The dude who was like chained up in the basement and shit, and whatever. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I didn't even catch
that
that.
fucking Jenna Ortega like saw him with the flashlight. And
I
focused
did
on
not
his
know who
dead
that guy
dick.
was.
I thought after that, they showed fucking Kid Cudi drinking a carton of milk with a missing picture of some fucking like dude who maybe could have been that guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
probably
definitely
should.
was.
That seems like something they would have done, yeah. But no, I missed that one.
Yeah, I maybe it's just a show.
I mean, I
that
thought
they're
it was.
fucked up.
I thought it could have been the other dude she was stabbing
Yeah,
at first, and
fucking
then
Shaggy, but
yeah,
then they
but he
showed him
was
again.
not. Yeah, Shaggy was done.
It's so funny that they didn't see him lying decapitated on the fucking driveway.
Any other time, that's what had me going. I'm like, no one noticed
Yeah.
that, or like, wouldn't flies or something be like drawing some attention? I saw them birds.
Yeah, wasn't
in the-
didn't
like,
she like
come on
walk
now.
up to the house and go like, "Hey, I'm looking for my boyfriend"?
Yeah,
or whatever,
and
she just
I was
didn't
like,
notice?
what?
I guess if
Yeah,
like she
that
was
was weird.
distracted and like not looking down the dark ground.
Right, I
maybe-
guess
she
bro
was
was
like-
there with the gun and everything. He was
Yeah.
already scheming from the beginning,
Yeah.
and we thought that it was like a casual little,
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
you know,
misdirection.
yeah, already off rip. He already knew he was
Yeah.
gonna throw her in the basement.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because he's like, "Oh, I
That
saved
wasn't a
you
late
one."
decision.
Oh,
He,
shit.
Yeah, he knew it was all planned out.
Man, yeah. So they're just like the serial fucking like rapist
Well,
murderers. who,
they
like,
kept saying, "Oh, that's number 3 or whatever."
Yeah, they
too.
just-
I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so they
just-
already
she's not the
knew,
one I
yeah.
want. They was like really
Yeah.
setting these guys
I
up
mean,
as some villains.
It's,
I'm like,
it's
what?
funny, I guess, thinking about how much it relates to Psycho, because they specifically called out Psycho, and that movie, like, you know, it has like it turns halfway through like into a completely different thing with an old lady in a house murdering people and shoving the bodies in a swamp. You know, spoilers for like a 60-year-old movie, but that's what happens. Yeah, so it's, I guess, like sort of seeing some. I mean, Hitchcock, right? We were like, it totally was like super Hitchcocky with the suspense and like.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah.
I thought the girl was gonna become the killer. Like I was just hoping for that kind
Yeah.
of.
Well,
My
I
main
guess
girl
we'll
who
see where the
survived.
sequel
I thought-
goes. 'Cause
I mean-
that's what they were saying. Like, oh, you're just like me. You're gonna end up like me and shit. So
I thought she was gonna
Huh?
take her body. That's what I thought was gonna happen so many times. Is that when she touched her, I thought she was gonna do that. When she laid in the bed, I thought she was about to
Yeah.
do that. Like I thought when they were having like their final confrontation, she was gonna do that, and
I
it
could've
never
seen it
happened.
happen.
And I was like, okay.
Especially having just seen that other A24 movie with possession and shit, I totally could imagine that. I mean, it would have fit in. They could have made it fit in.
And then like she was gonna go and kill them as the girl.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but it didn't go that way at all.
That
Like
would have
this.
been fucking nuts.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Would have been a whole different movie, but I would have been down for it. I was along for the ride. I didn't know what to expect, and I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I heard it was good, so I knew that to expect something good. But I like going into a movie like that and not knowing what the fuck is gonna happen. Because then it's
Yeah.
you know, like when something crazy happens, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, like you just didn't
oh, damn.
expect it. And there was a lot of that. There was a
Yeah.
whole lot of me not knowing what I was getting myself into, and it just zigzagging
Like,
through the
They
story.
set
I'm
up
like, whoa.
shit really well. Like the fact that the dude got stabbed in the eyes. He even said something. I like early on. He said something about getting your eyes poked out or some shit like that. And I was like, okay, I filed that away. I was like, that dude's gonna get it in his eye somehow soon. As soon as they show those little fucking
You
cubby
knew.
holes, because he's already like injured and he's in his underwear and he's like, is that you? And
Yeah,
like,
come
and it's
on,
like,
he just-
like
yeah,
he
for
puts
sure.
like a fucking the stupid motherfucker putting his face up against the thing. I feel like that's the kind of fun. Like I like watching horror movies like that where you're just like going like
Yeah,
what are
it
you
didn't
like what are you,
take
what are you
itself,
doing?
yeah.
Like get out of there! Like
Did not take itself too seriously.
yeah, I feel like it respected its audience, knowing that they were fans of the genre. If you're going to see that movie, you know, it's it definitely played with kind of the expectations and the tropes super well.
Yeah, there was this one shot in there where she's like running to the car or something. It like cuts forward and then cuts back
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
cuts
Oh,
forward,
yeah.
Her, like,
cuts back
outside
and then
and
cuts
inside
forward
and
when you're
shit.
that was
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that or something like that in a minute, and I really love that.
It's probably like whatever country they reference with, like, oh, this is how they do it in Europe or whatever, and they're
Oh.
talking about the movie.
Well,
like,
that
we're
was
gonna make
awesome.
it all like, yeah. So it's probably some
A
things from
Europe
that
thing.
time period.
Well, I'm
Something
gonna
from
try
the
that.
70s. It was cool. I like that. I liked all the different kind of artistic shit they did. I thought it just was nice movie to watch. I mean, besides like the sexual assault and murder, you know, which was even that I guess was filmed like.
Yeah, I know that. I kind of liked that first one, where she was just sitting on top of him, just stabbing him, and you're like, okay, she's done now.
I thought
but
she
she's
was.
like,
I'm so glad she didn't like full on rape that dude, because I was like,
I thought that's what she was doing. I thought she was like taking his youth or something.
Yeah,
Like there was a lot of things I thought were going on.
Yeah.
And none of that happened.
I
She's
guess
just
they
a
had
crazy.
her-
At the end of the day, she's just a crazy old lady.
They had her like wear makeup and shit, so she.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe she has eyebrows again because she's like getting the youth or something.
No, she
Well,
looked
I
really
thought she was
creepy
trying
at
to
first.
Copy the girl with the eyeshadow. I was like, it's the same color and everything. She's trying to
there
be
you
her.
Go. So that's like
Oh.
another.
But she was just getting sexy for the husband.
Yeah, it literally
But
was
it's
what I
probably
didn't think
because
it
she's
was.
being
Yeah.
inspired by that, being like, oh, you know, I want to be like this. She reminds me of like who I want to be, which is like young and a star or whatever. You know, like have the big dreams and shit. Instead of being like, you know, you can't even murder right anymore.
And she just says,
Yeah, that was fucking like that was some clean shit. Just fucking right in the fucking neck.
I did not see that first one coming.
Yeah.
No.
It's like I knew something weird was gonna happen, but I didn't know
I was
that
like
the
watching
old
her
lady.
fucking-
That
she
was
had her
like,
hand down her back, and I was like,
And
what
I
the
saw
fuck
the
is she
hand,
gonna do?
but-
Like, you know, she
I
got
thought
a
that was
secret.
gonna be the subversion, but it was literally, yep.
I expected maybe when she hugged him that she was gonna like stab him in the stomach or something, or be
Yeah.
like.
I
fucking
thought that she
coming
was
up
gonna
with
be
him.
able to take over his body. I thought she was
Yeah.
doing body stuff.
Yeah.
She started rubbing him
I
and stuff. I
did-
was like, okay.
Yeah, I thought that too, like taking his youth or something.
Yeah.
And
Especially where she started dancing after.
Yeah.
She got
Being all physical and shit.
Get
She
her
was
straight
like,
back.
like a million-year-old woman can't be getting up and down
She
like that.
started
you know?
She
killing
was
it.
fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it was some fucking nutty.
No,
shit.
that I love that dance scene though.
Yeah.
And that the stabbing and the dance were just like, what a sequence.
That was intense. I definitely, yeah, I like that. I'm glad to have. I don't know why it's back in theaters right now,
Because it's
but-
Halloween.
but that movie specifically is just because it was a popular movie, and like you know, because there's
Yeah,
like
and
not
the
enough
the
new
other one's
shit being
coming out,
released, so they're
right?
like pushing shit.
You're asking
I don't
the
know what
wrong
the deal
one.
with the other. I just know that
Oh.
there's supposed to be another one, and that there's like a prequel and shit.
No, I thought maybe like marketing or something.
Well, I mean, that would be a good mark. Now I want to see. I probably wouldn't have seen the third one in theaters because I wanted to see the first two. You know, I guess it depends. If we had the A-list, that maybe would have like found either streaming or like. Honestly, I go to the library and get like fucking. I haven't done it in like a year, but like used to get a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays and shit. But yeah, I want to see the prequel now, just to kind of see what the if they're gonna have a new one coming out. Might as well be caught up.
Well, if it's a prequel, then it'll be like the old lady as the young lady.
I think that's what it's supposed to be because it's called Pearl, and
Oh,
that's what they're
shit.
calling the old lady.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's interesting.
Which I mean, at the end when they're saying like, "Oh, Pearl," because I feel like they weren't using anyone's names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone would
they
be like,
very,
"Hey,
very
Pops,"
rarely.
Besides
and whatever,
Maxine,
and like,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and RJ, I guess, because
Yeah,
he was like the
'cause they
fucking
said it a
bitch. It was like, oh, you know, like I mean, I feel like he was pretty justified, and maybe it's a hot take in being upset. You know, whether or not he's justified in putting her in that situation or like doing whatever he's doing is a whole nother thing. But like,
Yeah.
you know, at the same time,
Nah,
it's
but
like
you
a
don't want to
shitty
see nobody go out
situation.
like that. Yeah, like come on. I mean, but he just had to face it like it was over.
Yeah,
For
I mean,
him, like
yeah.
it was done.
talk about going out at the bottom though. That's like,
Yeah, I know.
the
That's
lowest
why I
point.
didn't think you could possibly go out
Yeah.
right then. Like,
Yeah. Man, I
But-
thought, yeah, I
a
mean,
whole lot of that.
they set up
Subversion
it's
to
a
the
good
max.
subversion with having the old lady be crazy. Then you thought it was the man, and then it's the old lady, and then
Yeah.
it really is the man too.
Yeah.
And they're both crazy. Like that was
Insane
cool. Like
team.
maybe he was her caretaker. Maybe he was like protecting the world from
Yeah,
her.
from her. That's yeah.
Can we
That
turn on
was a
some air,
lot.
by the way.
Oh, car's not even on.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, the old-fashioned solution here.
I'm sorry. It's just
No,
gonna be
it's-
loud.
No, it's cool. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know.
You're good. You're good. Let's-
Any other? I mean, I feel like we covered a lot of ground. What's
Yeah.
We out.
parting shots?
Yeah. All right.
Well, all right. Rating. I mean, I confirm. I think an 8.5 easy. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah,
once I
eight.
think about
Yeah,
it more and I
yeah.
kind of understand some of the shit that was happening, maybe because I feel like there were like the sex and the relationships and whatever that was going on there. There's stuff happening and like you were saying, like okay, there's something with the old lady and them. You know, I'm interested to process it
It
more.
all connects
Yeah.
somehow.
It's like I don't know. I
More.
feel like A24 movies like The Witch.
That was an A24. That was an A24.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, well, that
Right.
would explain things.
I feel like all their movies they have like the late teens, early 20s actresses in these kind of horror situations and shit. That seems to be like the recurring. Cause like Talk to Me had that like it was like the girl in that age
You
group.
know, that's what I was talking about earlier.
The Witch. I mean, Midsummer I haven't seen, but like I know that that's what that is or whatever. Right? It's like the young women in the horror situations.
Nope, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's like the Florence Pugh's like breakout, I think. That was like some horror. Another just.
Oh,
A24
bad.
movie.
Yeah, but I never saw that one.
Me
I'm better
neither.
talking about
Yeah. Gotta catch up, but
Never.
A24 is just crushing it. You know,
Yeah.
like they're talking about building a brand, like kicking ass.
All right, we out.